how I completely transformed my finances in just 3 months. The average American is living just 14 days away from financial disaster. That's not an exaggeration. According to a Federal Reserve report, nearly 40% of Americans can't cover a $400 emergency without borrowing money or selling something. $400. That's a car repair, a medical copay, a broken phone. If that number hit you somewhere uncomfortable, good, because that feeling, that's the beginning of change. 3 months ago, I was buried. Credit card debt sitting at $9,000, a savings account with less than $200 in it, no budget, no plan, just a vague, anxious feeling every time I opened my banking app. Sound familiar? Here's the thing nobody tells you. It's not about how much you make. People earning 6 figures are broke too. The problem isn't income. The problem is the system you're using to manage money, or, more accurately, the complete lack of one. You've probably Googled things like, how to save $10,000 in 3 months, or how to keep track of your finances, and gotten overwhelmed by spreadsheets, apps, and advice that sounds great, but doesn't actually fit your real life. You're not lazy. You're not bad with money. You just haven't been given a real framework that works. I wasted years thinking I just needed to earn more. Turns out, I needed to think differently first. So let me walk you through exactly what changed. 5 specific shifts that moved me from financial chaos to genuine clarity in 90 days. These are not theories. These are the exact steps in order. Step 1. I got brutally honest about where my money was actually going. Most people think they know they're spending. They don't. I thought I was spending around $300 a month on food. My bank statement said $640, almost double. That gap between what you think you spend and what you actually spend is where financial dreams go to die. The fix is simple but uncomfortable. Pull your last 3 months of bank and credit card statements. Categorize every single transaction. Don't estimate, don't guess. Look at the real numbers. When I did this, I found $47 a month going to a gym I hadn't visited in 5 months, $22 for a software subscription I forgot I had, and 6 streaming services. 6. That's over $100 a month just in forgotten subscriptions, nearly $1,200 a year. Gone. But here's what most people don't know. Tracking your spending alone won't save you. Awareness without action is just expensive self-awareness. You need the next step. Step 2, I built what I call a zero-based budget and actually stuck to it. A zero-based budget means every single dollar you earn gets assigned a job before the month starts. Income minus expenses equals 0. Not because you spend everything, but because you're intentional about where every dollar goes, including savings and investments. I used a free app called YNAB, You Need a Budget, to set this up. Within the first month, I found an extra $430 I didn't know I had. Not because I earned more, because I directed my money instead of wondering where it went. Here's a real example. I allocated exactly $80 for dining out. Once it was gone, it was gone. That one boundary saved me over $200 in my first month alone compared to my previous I'll just be careful strategy. Step 3. I automated savings before I could spend it. Willpower is a terrible financial strategy. The moment your paycheck hits your account and sits there, it will get spent. Human brains are wired for immediate reward. That's not weakness, that's biology. The solution is to remove yourself from the equation entirely. I set up an automatic transfer of $250 to a high-yield savings account every single payday. The money moved before I even logged in. Within 90 days, I had saved over $1,500, more than I had saved in the previous 2 years combined. A high-yield savings account right now is offering somewhere between 4 and 5% APY compared to the national average of just 0.46% at traditional banks. That's nearly 10 times more growth just for switching where your money sits. But here's what most people miss. Saving money without attacking debt at the same time is like bailing out a boat while the drain is still open. Step 4. I used the debt avalanche method to destroy $9,000 of debt fast. There are two popular debt payoff strategies. The debt snowball, where you pay off smallest balances first for psychological wins, and the debt avalanche, where you attack the highest interest rate first, which saves you the most money mathematically. I had 3 credit cards, one at 24% APR, one at 19%, one at 15%. I threw every extra dollar at the 24% card while paying minimums on the others. Within 3 months, I eliminated $4,000 off that first card. The interest I saved by doing it this way instead of randomly? Over $600. That's real money. Step 5. I started treating investing like a bill, not an option. This is the one that changed everything long term. Most people think investing is something you do after you get your finances together. Wrong. Investing is getting your finances together. If your employer offers a 401k match and you're not contributing enough to get the full match, you are leaving free money on the table every single month. I increased my 401k contribution by just 3% of my salary. At my income level, that was about $90 per paycheck. But because it reduced my taxable income, my actual take-home pay only dropped by about $60. I gave up $60 and gained $90 in retirement contributions, plus my employer matched half of it. Over 30 years, that small change compounds into tens of thousands of dollars. One final piece that ties all of this together. Learning how to actually keep track of your finances consistently is the difference between a good month and a good decade. I did a weekly 10-minute money date with myself every Sunday. I reviewed the week's spending, checked my budget categories, and adjusted if needed. 10 minutes, that's it. That ritual alone kept me from slipping back into old patterns. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is awareness plus action, repeated consistently. 3 months, $9,000 in debt cut nearly in half, over $1,500 saved, investments growing on autopilot. And for the first time in years, I opened my banking app without that knot in my stomach. You can do this too. Not because it's easy, because it's simple. And there's a massive difference between those two things. If this gave you a real concrete starting point, hit subscribe. Every week we break down personal finance strategies in plain English. No fluff, no get-rich-quick nonsense. And if you want to go deeper on the exact budgeting system that made this possible, the next video walks you through setting up a zero-based budget from scratch in under 20 minutes. Watch that next.